Hi, thank you for purchasing this Udemy course on how to deal with bullies. This video, the subject is how to not look like an easy target. So this is super important because a lot of our bully interactions are with strangers, and strangers only have a couple seconds to size you up. So if someone is having harsh words with me, angry words, yelling, okay, I don't know them, it's a stranger in public, right? Or in my experience, someone in jail, right? I'm going to size him up. And I do this quickly in a couple seconds. How is he talking to me? How is he standing? Does he stand like a fighter's stance, in a boxing stance? Or is he over emotional? Or is he just like, bring it? Okay, so the most dangerous people actually, they don't do that whole lot of yelling and woofing, because a barking dog is not the same as a biting dog, okay? So there are sleepers, right? A sleeper is what we call someone who has tremendous fighting skills but looks harmless. He's a sleeper because you might unexpectedly underestimate his fighting skills. But in general, we want to portray an image that says, if I am in a conflict, I can and will defend myself. And so that's our topic today, is how to not look like an easy target. If you put me in a jail cell with a super violent guy and a super mean guy and a psychotic guy, he might beat me up, but I'm not going to make it easy for him. I am going to fight back. Even if I lose, I'd rather lose and keep my dignity. I fought my best, right? And at some level, if a bully is, with the exception of that, you're trapped in a cell. That's rarely the case. Most of the time, you're not trapped like that. Some bullies will corner you, like when you're, that hell in a cell that I just mentioned. When you go to the bathroom in school, and then the bullies will come in behind you, right, and trap you in there, right? So we got to look out for those situational vulnerabilities, right? So that's the topic today, is how to not look like an easy target. We want you to look like a hard target to bully. So let's pretend I'm a bully, okay? I'm a bully in high school, okay? And, okay, there's a kid over here, and he's talking with 3 or 4 of his friends, and they all seem close, and they're all, talking and conversating, and then over here I have a guy who's sitting all by himself. He never looks up from his phone. He doesn't make eye contact with anybody, right? He's very withdrawn, and, who am I going to pick on if I'm a bully? It's obvious, right? I'm going to pick on the guy who's a loner and who is withdrawn and who is, with his head low, okay? That is the easy target. A lot of you know what I'm talking about because you are easy targets. It seems like wherever you go, bullies find you. And I'm going to tell you why they find you. and how to not be so easy of a target. Okay? Let's start with the obvious. Introverts. Are you an introvert? No, you are not. You are no longer an introvert. You may have called yourself that in the past. It's a terrible label to put on yourself. Terrible. Because it gives you permission to not make friends, to not be social, to not have a social... Being social requires practice. I have to practice on communicating well and understanding people's emotions and their motives and their personalities. I have to remember people's names. I have to remember things about... I have to take a genuine interest in other people. All of that is difficult, but I do it anyway because the payoff is huge. I have friends, I have allies, I have homies, I have opportunities, because the more social I am, the more likely I'm going to meet people to date. Okay? And that's another subject, but it is important. Social skills leads to more success in the romance department. Good social skills leads to more success in career and business opportunities. If you are terrible at social skills, today, right now, is the day that you're going to change that. And step one, don't call yourself an introvert anymore. No way. Introvert and extrovert, right? Okay, let's talk about that. I am an introvert sometimes because I do enjoy time by myself. I need my own space. I need my own... I want to even hear my own thoughts. I need my own privacy from time to time. But no one is a lone wolf, because you know what happens to lone wolves? They get picked off, okay? They don't survive. Believe it or not, whether you agree with this or not, you are a social animal. And you will go crazy if I deprived you of any human contact for 30 days. You would go bonkers, okay? And I've seen it when men go to the hole in solitary confinement. They come out bonkers because they had 30 days of no human contact, and it does mess with your head. So, you are a social animal. You have probably been neglecting your social skills because I'm just an introvert. I don't really like to hang out with people. No. That's why you're getting bullied, because you're an introvert. You're a loner. So no more. Here's a new word for you, and you're going to take this and run with it, okay? The new word is ambivert, okay? Ambivert is it's not an introvert and it's not an extrovert. Ambivert means I can be comfortable in a social group of friendly people, okay? That's an important qualifier. And I can be comfortable for long periods of time by myself. I can be both things. That's why I'm an ambivert. Remember the rule of nature. You must adapt to your environment. Okay? The law of the jungle says survival of the fittest. Being fit means I have adapted perfectly to my environment. Okay? In society, there will be times when you need to be okay with being by yourself. And you are. And there will be times when you will be expected and required to participate in a team, a group of people, a classroom setting, a workplace setting where you're working with multiple co-workers, okay? You will be expected to communicate effectively, to participate and cooperate effectively with others. And if you fail to do those things, you will miss out on future opportunities. If it's a team, you may not get picked for the team next time. If it's a job, you may not last very long if you can't cooperate and work with your team and your coworkers. So you are an ambivert. I want you to adopt that word into your identity, because right now you're clinging to, I'm an introvert. I took a test on the internet and it told me I'm an introvert. And you got those initials, INFP, whatever this. All of that is trash. Why? Did it help you with your bullying problem? It did not. It did not help your life in any way. It made your life worse because it gave you permission to not interact socially. Oh no, I would love to go to that birthday party, but I'm an introvert. I don't like the social situations. It's a birthday party. Get out of your comfort zone and go to that birthday party and talk to people and be friendly. It's a birthday party. Come on. All right? So, yeah, you're not an introvert. You're an ambivert. You are perfectly adapted to both time alone and time with other friendly people. Okay? Okay, I saw a video the other day I want to share with you. This girl, she's an introvert, right? Okay? She's super shy and super, don't like social situations, right? Okay? And so, this guy, he's not a bully, he's a clown, okay? So he has his friend filming, right? And so the girl's sitting alone at lunch, like introverts do, which is, that's a no-no. That's a violation of the rules. You do not sit alone at lunch. You go up to a table where people that you wouldn't mind eating with, and you go, hey, can I sit here? And they say, sure. And now you have friends, man. What's so hard about that? What's so hard about that, okay? Don't eat alone. What are you doing, man? You're making yourself an easy target. Do not eat your lunch alone. You sit with someone, you say, hey, guys, is this seat taken? Like that. You take it and you sit down. You go, what you guys got for lunch? You just start a conversation, man. None of this is hard, but you make it hard, okay? None of this is hard. Okay, so this girl, I'm telling you the story, right? She's an introvert, right? And the guy knows it, right? In high school, right? So he does this, right? He walks up behind her and he just puts his hand on her shoulder and he says, hey, Judy, how's your day going? When he touched her, she went like this. Like that, like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. What's supposed to happen is this. He wasn't touching her sexually. He put his hand on her shoulder and he greeted her with politeness. How's your day going, Judy? And she, no. You turn around and you say, hey, Joe, I'm having a good day. How about you? This is social. This is ABC stuff. Stuff you should have learned earlier. But that introvert label gave you permission to avoid all of this learning. You have to learn, you know what? They call it small talk for a reason. Chit-chat, banter. It's nothing difficult. You can't figure out how to do it? 5-year-old kids do it. 5-year-old kids walk up and go, "Hi, my name's Joey. How are you?" It's super easy. Don't give yourself an excuse to not be social, because this is how you look like a hard target to bully. Okay? If you don't have no friends, nobody wants to sit with you, you're making yourself an easy target for bullying. Okay? Okay. Now, remember when I was qualifying my statement, I said you are comfortable in social situations with friendly people, right? What I mean is this: you have complete freedom to avoid toxic people, rude people, bullies. You're not going to go sit and have lunch with a bad actor, with a person who is rude or disrespectful or potentially dangerous. I'm not asking you to take those risks. I'm asking you to develop good judgment and stop taking the easy route of all people are dangerous. No, not all people are dangerous. You have to look at each person and go, that person's dangerous. I'm going to avoid him. But this person is, most people are just neutral. They are not good or bad, mean or kind. They're neutral because you don't even know them yet. But as you get to know them, I didn't realize you like to hurt cats in your free time. Don't hang out with that guy if you find out that he's a toxic person or a dangerous person. Avoid him, okay? But you do not get the luxury of putting everyone in the basket of potentially dangerous, because that's making yourself an easy target. If you have no one that's willing to sit with you at lunch in the workplace or at school, that's your fault, because you have not done enough to make friends. If you're working in a company and there's 50 workers and none of them want to sit next to you, you have not done enough to make friends. The same applies in high school or middle school. You need to do more to make friends, okay? What does it mean to stand up for yourself? Well, are you tired of being bullied? Yes. You purchased this video, and the reason you did was you were fed up with being picked on and bullied. So you have made a decision already to stand up for yourself. Standing up for yourself means this. First of all, you will not put your hands on me. I mean, when you touched that girl on the shoulder, that was not a hostile move, right? So we're not going to freak out if someone, they're just touchy, right? But if it was an inappropriate sexual touch, if it was a physical, like pushing you, or, a bully, move like that, then hell yeah, you're not allowed to do that. And that's a boundary that they can never cross. If they cross that, it's time to defend yourself. You understand? It's time to defend yourself. So that's the clear boundary that's been violated. If they are touching you in an unwelcome manner, that is they crossed the line. You understand? Now, if they are talking to you in a way that is insulting, yelling at you, being rude, making you feel small, making you feel unsafe, threatening you in any way, laughing at your expense, right? Like your car broke down, and they say, you have a junk car, you can't afford your repairs. Oh, don't talk to me that way. If you don't have nothing nice to say, we're done here. Don't talk to me that way. Your attitude stinks. You're being rude and disrespectful. Talk to the hand, because I don't want to talk to you. Understand? So, yeah, that's a boundary. If you're making me feel any of those things, you're not my friend. And we're done. We're done talking. Go away. Go away. So, but you have to say that. You just can't wish them to go away and just sit there and take it. Okay? So, you have to set that boundary. If you're being insulting or yelling at me or critical, you don't get to criticize me over and over. You say it once if you're my boss or you're my teacher or even my parent, but you don't get to criticize me every day the same thing. No, that's disrespectful. That's rude, and that is a violation. I'm going to stand up for myself and say it ends now. I heard you the first time. You don't have to keep picking on me. That's bullying, okay? So that's how we verbally stand up for ourselves, okay? What you are experiencing to some degree as a victim of bullying is what we call learned helplessness, right? Because here's your problem, if you want me to sum it up, okay? I went to prison, right, for a long time. I went several times, but I had to learn my lesson. It took me a long time to learn my lesson. Why did I go to prison? Because I was violent, okay? If you are just a thief or a drug dealer, right, you're going to go to jail, okay? But if you're violent, they want to send you to prison, right? That's mainly the difference, okay? Violent people are in prison. Your ordinary rule breakers and trespassers and petty thieves, that's it. That's jail time, okay? But if you're violent, you're going to go to prison, right? So, learned helplessness is this. You think to yourself, this guy's bullying me, right? I want to punch him in the mouth. But no, I can't, because if I do, I'm going to lose my job. If I punch him in the mouth, I'm going to get expelled from school. I don't want those things to happen. Therefore, I'm trapped. I feel like a victim now if you took away my ability to defend myself, right? But here's the thing. Is your bully being physical? If he's not physically assaulting you or physically threatening you, right, then you don't have to, that's not appropriate for you to use physical force. So you could not punch a bully just because he called you a name. You would get in trouble. You would be expelled, right? Here's my advice. Okay, if you're being bullied at school, physically, don't fight them at school. You'll get expelled, okay? When I went to middle school, there was a burger bar right next to the school, okay? It was this little burger joint, right? It sold tacos and burgers, right? Okay, so if me and someone had words, right? All right, meet me at the burger bar after school. And then all the kids would spread the rumor. All right, Alex is going to go fight Joe at the burger bar. Be there after school. If you didn't show up, that meant you were a coward, right? So that's where we would fight, at the burger bar. You don't get expelled. And, okay, but now, here's the thing. That's why you need